Today on 10 Minute IT Jams, we have Luke Francis, who is the ANZ Channel Director for CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity company specializing in cloud endpoint protection with the ultimate aim of stopping breaches. Welcome to the Jam, Luke.
Thank you, Nick. Pleased to be here.
No worries. So first question, for an IT manager that hasn't worked with CrowdStrike before, what are your key products and offerings?
First of all, CrowdStrike is a global cybersecurity leader in all things endpoint protection, particularly cloud endpoint protection. Our product was built from the ground up to stop corporate breaches. Being an endpoint protection platform, Falcon is what we call it. Falcon was designed as a modular offering that addresses a number of security challenges and use cases, the most notable of which include things like next generation AV, endpoint detection and response, and managed threat hunting. Of course, as an extensible application platform, we continue to address new and existing use cases with additional modules. These include, in no particular order, modules that are focused on helping customers discover the assets that they're looking to protect, vulnerability management modules, device control, firewall management, and more recently, cloud security modules. The platform itself is architected using a single lightweight agent that leverages cloud scale AI and offers real-time protection and visibility across the enterprise, which prevents attacks on endpoints on and off the network. It correlates over 3 trillion endpoint-related events per week in real time from across the globe, fueling one of the world's most advanced data platforms for security.
And could you say a couple of words about any recent product or company announcements that you may have?
Yeah, sure. As per the point I just made, CrowdStrike continues to leverage the platform. We're an extensible application platform, which means we collect data once and we repurpose many times. So in that vein, we continue to make additions to the platform that are designed to deliver groundbreaking technology and address customer needs. So more recently, we've added a number of new technology providers to our Crowd Store, for example. So the CrowdStrike Store allows technology partners to leverage CrowdStrike's cloud architecture to build, test, and ultimately deploy their products across both existing CrowdStrike customer instances and new ones as well. But it's by leveraging CrowdStrike's architecture, both our customers and our partners get to enjoy the benefit of a cloud-based architecture leveraging a single agent. We see this capability as something that's really driving innovation in the security market.
Yeah. And in terms of just the ANZ market, which you oversee, what infrastructure and resources do you have specifically here?
Look, in terms of resources, we are a little north of 100 people in country now. So we have salespeople spread across Australia and New Zealand. We have business unit functions based in Australia, including the likes of HR, legal. From a partnering point of view, we have approximately 50 partners across Australia and New Zealand. We have about 15 in New Zealand and about 35 in Australia. And we divide those partners into either global partners, so obviously partners that we have relationships with across various geos. And then in terms of the local partners, we have a tiered partnering structure that effectively talks to 3 tiers. So those tiers are associate, focus, and elite. So really we see the channel and the guys and girls that are on the front lines in our partner community as an extension of our own sales force.
And you've actually recently issued the CrowdStrike Falcon Overwatch 2020 threat hunting report. Could you give me a couple of highlights from that, if possible?
Yeah, sure. So that was, just to be clear, that was the report for the first half of 2020. What we found in that report was that e-crime activity has, again, for the second year, outpaced state-sponsored activity, representing about 82% of all intrusions. We saw a sharp escalation in activity in the manufacturing sector in the first half of 2020 from both e-crime actors and nation-state actors, making it the second most targeted vertical observed by our Overwatch team, with the first being the technology vertical. We also saw that hands-on keyboard intrusion activity for the first half of this year has already surpassed that of 2019, which is really interesting, which demonstrates how the shift to remote working has expanded the attack surface for adversaries and really created further opportunities for exploitation. Finally, the Overwatch team observed that there were 6 different Chinese-based actors that were active in our region, likely motivated by espionage and data theft, conducting campaigns that were increasingly aimed at telecommunications companies. Overall, the report's findings clearly demonstrated to us how cyber activity continues to be extrinsically linked to global economic and geopolitical forces and the ability for threat actors to rapidly pivot to meet those emerging opportunities.
And you actually also have an annual security conference coming up. Could you give us a sneak peek of what could be happening there?
Yeah, sure. That's called Falcon. It is our annual security conference. It's something we're very excited about. Of course, this year it's all going virtual because of the global pandemic. But yes, it's something that's taking place on Friday, the 16th of October at 2:30 p.m. in Australia and New Zealand. It's really become the must attend business and technology experience for global cybersecurity stakeholders and our community more broadly. So it's something that we look forward to every year. It's something that grows in terms of the number of attendees every year. At the event, you'll hear from our CEO, George Kurtz, our President and Chief Security Officer, Sean Henry, our Chief Product Officer, Amol Kulkarni, as well as our CTO, Mike Santonis. So there'll be a range of senior individuals in the virtual event on the 16th of October. And really, it's an opportunity for both customers and partners to hear about the direction that CrowdStrike is taking in terms of what might be new and emerging as a technology trend, but also the types of offerings that we will be announcing and continue to announce over the coming quarters and months. We'll be talking about some case studies. We do have a case study that's being presented by our friends at Mercedes-AMG Petronas, the Formula One team. Customers and partners will be able to join Lewis Hamilton and also the Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team CEO, Toto Wolff, together with George, our CEO, talking about how CrowdStrike works to secure the workloads associated to the Mercedes-AMG Petronas team. So that will be a particularly interesting conversation.
Absolutely, yeah. And lastly, Luke, could you tell me if a partner or enterprise end user wanted to engage with CrowdStrike, what's the best way?
Sure. Well, look, there are lots of ways. I think if an end user or a partner wanted to connect with CrowdStrike, there's first and foremost, I would encourage them to reach out via the usual channels, via the website. There's a distribution list that you can send an email to, and someone that manages that distribution list will pick up the correspondence. Look me up on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, so I'll see your note and I'll respond. But really, I think it's, we're very focused on engaging, continuing to engage with customers, existing and new, in this part of the world, as well as partners. So if organizations out there think that CrowdStrike can solve a security problem for them or help them with their go-to-market, then we'd certainly like to have a conversation with them.
Awesome, cool. Well, that concludes today's 10-minute IT Jam with CrowdStrike ANZ Channel Director, Luke Francis. Thank you so much for coming on today, Luke.
Thanks for the opportunity, Nick.